Hooded eyes are so common, so many of you wrote in the comments asking how to stop eyeshadow from disappearing, how to do eyeliner without smudging, and how to actually see shimmer on the lid. Today, I will show you 3 simple tricks: crease illusion, line placement, and lash lift. All beginner friendly. But first, let's check ourselves against the most common mistakes that beginners usually make. On the left side, you can see the wrong version. The eye looks smaller and close off. On the right side, with the correct technique, the eye looks bigger, lifted, and more open. Mistake number 1: applying dark pencil directly on the waterline without blending. When you draw a thin, harsh line only on the waterline, it visually cuts the eyes and makes it look even smaller. This is especially true if you use a black pencil. It creates a heavy frame that closes the eye shape instead of enhancing it. Here I'm using a brown pencil, which is a softener and more forgiving than black, but even with this shade, you can clearly see the difference. Without blending, the line still shortens the eye and drag it down instead of giving a lifted, more open look. Another very common mistake is applying eye pencil with a blunt, unsharpened tip directly on the last little open space of the hooded eyes. When you do this, the line becomes thick and imprecise, so leaving thinner gaps between the lashes and the skin instead of defining the lash line. Those gaps create a messy look. For hooded eyes, this is especially problematic because we already have limited visible space. By filling it with a heavy, uneven line, you are eating up the lid space that could otherwise be used to open and lift the eye. The result is that the eye looks more deep set, the lash looks like unfinished, and the hooded lid itself appears heavier than it actually is. And this type of application simply doesn't work for our eye shape. Instead of enhancing, it takes away from the definition and makes the hood look more pronounced. Mistake number 3: applying light silver shimmer under the brow. Many beginners think that adding a bright shimmery highlight under the brow bone will open the eyes and makes them look lifted. In reality, for hooded eyes, this technique often works against us. When you use a light silver shimmer with the strong reflective particles right under the brow or across the hooded part of the lid, it actually adds extra volume to the hood. Because shimmer catches the light and emphasizes every curve, it makes the hooded lid appear puffy, heavier, and again, more pronounced. Another mistake that happens very often is pressing the brush or pencil too hard when creating eyeliner. Also, many beginners start the wing immediately from the very end of the eye with the same heavy pressure. So the problem with this is that the wing tip turns out thick and blunt instead of fine and elongated. A heavy tail instantly drags the eye down and makes it look shorter. The key to flattering eyeliner, especially on hooded eyes, is control and lightness. Apply the product with a soft, gentle hand and avoid pressing the brush into the skin. And finally, remember, blended eyeliner is always a good idea. Smudging the line slightly makes it softer and more natural and more forgiving for hooded eyes. It gives you definition without harsh edges and it keeps the eye open and elongated. Let's start. See that little visible space on the lid? So don't cover it with a dark matte pencil. Instead, use shades that actually enhance your natural eye color. Reddish tones make green eyes pop. Bronze looks amazing on blue eyes, and blue and purple shades bring out the richness in brown eyes. But don't start drawing right at the front of the eye. You'll probably just tear up. Instead, look straight in the mirror, slightly turn your face, and begin at the outer corner. That area is less sensitive, so it's much easier to work there first. Keep your chin lifted and gently open the waterline to expose the lash roots. Work in small strokes, don't press on the eyeball itself, just target the roots and waterline. Apply the pencil toward the middle of the eye and then stop. At that point, make the line a little thicker to give the eye more lift. When you hold the skin, don't pull it too hard, just enough to help yourself. Remember, the skin around the eyes is very thin and it only gets thinner with age, and if you have extra skin, support it, but don't stretch it flat. Now add some definition along the outer part of the low lash line. For precise application, switch to a thin, sharp brush. Follow your low lash line, but don't go too close to the crease. Place it slightly lower instead. Use the hairline as your guide. Find the little arch and then draw your line straight toward the middle of that place. Do the same on the other side. After you've mapped the line, smudge the tip of the wing to keep it soft and lightweight. Then go back in with your pencil, sharpen this time, and connect the line with either the thicker part of your wing or directly with your lash line. Think of this as a part of your draft. Once you've got the draft down, draw over it again to even out the shape and color. If it's not perfectly sharp, don't stress. It doesn't have to be flawless because we will blend it anyway. So this creates the body of the eyeliner. Now grab your eyeshadow palette. I'm using the reddish brown eyeshadows from Charlotte Tilbury. It has such a beautiful autumn shade. Don't tap the brush against the palette or blow on it. That only creates fallout. Instead, just dab the brush lightly on the back of your hand to remove excess product and control how much you are working with. Apply with the brush perpendicular to the lid and always use the same side of the brush that touches the product, not the flat sides. Before going in, set the eye pencil with eyeshadow. Make sure the pencil is completely even out and not wet, otherwise it will smudge and transfer. Now find the highest point of your eye and place the eyeshadow just before the spot, then stop. Grab some eyeshadows and apply the shadows to the inner corners. So if you don't have a lot of lashes, this part will actually be easier for you because this is less to work around. Same goes for using a pencil. Stay away from the center of the lids. Don't close off that open space with a dark pencil or shadow. Instead, do the opposite. Apply a shimmer or sparkling shade in gold or bronze right here. And keep your brow relaxed and look down as you tap the shimmer onto the lid. Notice how, when you open your eyes, the shine seems to disappear into the crease. That's exactly the point. It creates the illusion of more space. The shimmer catches the light when you blink, whether it's daylight, flash, or restaurant lighting, and instantly makes the eye look bigger and more open. But be careful, don't apply shimmer on the skin above the crease or on the hood itself. That extra skin will only look heavier and shine. Next, take a small fluffy brush for blending. Pick up a reddish shade, hold the brush perpendicular, look straight into the mirror, and keep your brow muscles relaxed. Start to create the illusion of a crease. But remember, this is about adding depth with shadows, but not doing a harsh cut crease. Keep your face natural and relaxed as if you are talking to someone. Take a brown shade and dab it into the outer corners to add depth. Keep it higher, don't go lower than the low lash line, otherwise you will drag the eye down. Finally, add a touch of light shimmer, like silver or champagne, right into the inner corners. This brightens the whole face, opens the eyes, and makes you look less tired. I usually do this step with my fingertip. It's faster and gives instant payoff. But if you are unsure about placement, use a small precise brush instead. Before mascara, let's give the lashes a little lift. My lashes naturally grow straight down, which creates a shadow under the eyes and makes them look more closed. So the moment I curl them, that shadow disappears and the whole eye looks brighter, more lifted, and more open. To lock in that result, it's time for mascara. Start with a wiggle motion at the roots, and that helps push the lashes upward. Then glide the brush to the tips. For even more openness, apply a little mascara to the low lash line as well. I usually focus just on the sides, not the entire bottom row, so to keep it soft and balanced and not rounded. Now for the brows, the final step, and honestly one of the most important ones that beginners often skip. Brows completely change how much space you have around the eyes and can instantly open up the whole area. I like using gel for that glossy, fresh out of the shower effect. It's non-sticky and doesn't glue the hairs flat to the skin, so it looks very natural. I always apply the product onto the brush. That way you can control how much you apply it. Start by brushing the brows in the opposite direction to coat every hair. Then brush them up at about 45-degree angle. If you want a flatter look, you can roll the handle of the brush as you go. It's totally up to your preference. Wait a few seconds for the gel to set and then fill in any gaps. I will show you my absolutely favorite brow duo. It's so natural with a gorgeous shade range. Honestly, I don't even remember which one I bought first because I love them all. If you have a lot of space on your forehead, you can balance the proportions by making the upper brow line a bit thicker. The same works for the lower line. In my case, I have a large hooded lid space and a regular size forehead. Since my hair isn't yellow toned right now, this color works perfectly. I can skip using an olive shade. I always start filling from the ends of the brows and that work my way upward and finally blend toward the beginning of the opposite side. So see how I swipe it? Almost like I'm trying to connect both brows together. Make sure both lines stay parallel. Your brow should run parallel to your lower lash line and your jawline, which also means they will be in harmony with your classic blush, highlighter, and contour placement. And look at the result. Once you try this technique, you will never want to go back to using just pencils or markers. Let me know in the comments which tip worked best for you, and have a great weekend, and see you in the next one. Bye!